Divers. Welcome back to the Neurodive Corner. My name is Sheila Rivera. Shout out to the new subscribers on the channel and to our top subscribers for their continuing support. I love our small community, our little tribe that keeps growing little by the day. So, as usual, make sure you guys hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bells. Make sure that you leave comments, please. My account has been shadow banned as of recently, and it's mostly on the other side of the channel that deals a little bit more with like political satire, news of, and kind of like commentary, social commentary, and obviously in these times that can be very dangerous if we're gonna categorize it some way. But yeah, just wanted to put a shout out to the new subscribers. We have gained some new subscribers recently. We have been growing as a community outside of the United States. So thank you for those of you that are watching us outside of the United States, and all of those that have expressed your empathy, support, concern, all of that. It is well received. It is greatly appreciated. And it means a lot whenever we're going through so much that we can kind of like help each other and be there for each other. Today, we're going to talk about mental illness being weaponized. And I'm sure you guys kind of like know and can glean where I'm heading with this one. So, if you are not very much into the news cycle or kind of like the culture and pop culture as well. You probably haven't heard, but most likely most people have heard already that Kanye West wants to come back to the cookout. He put out a video, an apology video. I'm not sure if he is looking to, how do I put it? I don't know if he's looking to, oh no, that made it worse in terms of the lighting. That's not good. What is creating that? I might have to take my glasses off for this one. Yep, that's a lot better. Yep, a lot better without the glasses. But anyway, so getting back to oh, thank you guys for the hearts. Thank you for smashing those hearts. Thank you for joining the live. Big shout out to Alvaro Rodriguez 9431. Thank you. Hello, thank you for joining the live. Make sure you guys keep hitting the bell, hitting subscribe, hitting the like, smashing the hearts. Consider tipping, consider donating to the GoFundMe campaign. Everything is in the description. So I'm as much as I don't want that shine to be in the video, I can't see your comments too well without the glasses because I'm an old lady. So anyway, so back to Kanye. So Kanye, I guess, is going on an apology tour. And, my man is trying real hard to appeal to our black brothers and sisters. And, he's trying hard to come back to the cookout. And it ain't that easy, bro. Because the whole mental illness take is played out in your case. And it's not lack of empathy. I am neurodivergent myself, and have work with neurodivergent patients and have neurodivergent people in my life. Yeah, Alvaro, hi, hello. Thank you for joining the live. Make sure you get other people to jump in. and subscribe to the channel. It's not only, we don't only do mental health, there's other part of the channel that has to do with political satire, comedy, and other things like that. So make sure you check that out. So again, so in Kanye's case, the only reason why it's hard for me to express empathy is because for way too long, Kanye has coasted on whenever he gets too close to the brink and to the edge, his way of pulling back is to claim, ooh, my brain is broken. I'm crazy. People should be scared. And I find it so disgusting when people do that because having a mental illness does not inherently produce disruptive behaviors, aggressive behaviors. People can have well regulated nervous systems and function like normal human beings without saying or not even half of the BS that comes out of Kanye's mouth. And I think those of us that are neurodivergent and those of us that love people that are neurodivergent need to be better advocates. We need to remove stigmas. We need to start talking about how does high functioning anxiety look like? What does suffering a panic behavior looks like? What does antisocial personalities disorder looks like? And that's where your psychopath, sociopath kind of like falls in. We're kind of like getting away from those terms. But your narcissists, will kind of fall under that antisocial personalities disorder. Mood disorders like borderline personality can sometimes create impulsivity in anger in patients, but it's usually when patients are not well regulated, when patients are not on psychotropic medications, when patients are not self aware that they have a condition, then they might have things that are extreme, right? Let me throw a couple of shout outs to the chat. So I have a total nobody. Okay, that you get points for creativity. That's a curious name. That is awesome. Sonia Arias, hi. Thank you for joining the chat. Thank you for being one of the top supporters. That is greatly appreciated. Make sure that you guys do all the good things so more people are exposed to the channel and we can keep helping others help neurodivergent individuals thrive. Who else do I have? Tylee, is that how you pronounce it? Hopefully, I'm not messing it up. Tylee Terry or yeah, I'm assuming Tylee Terry. That's a cute name. Laura, the messenger fan. I'm butchering names today. Thank you for being one of our top supporters. Greatly appreciated. Alan, thank you. Hi, hey, what's happening? I just joined. So we're talking about people that weaponize mental illness to excuse bad behavior. And I was just kind of like talking about Kanye West, who this last couple of days has been trying to pull that off again. It's not the first time that Kanye gets a little too close to the sun, or flies a little too close to the sun and tries to use the I'm mentally ill to pull back. And especially when he wants the support of the black and brown communities. It is not new. And I just find that those of us that are neurodivergent or work with neurodivergent or love somebody neurodivergent need to start calling out people like Kanye West. And a lot of the art out there, and how misinformed it is. Like, for example, I don't understand why every movie that depicts Tourette's syndrome has to always make it about curse words. There's plenty of Tourette's patients that don't use any type of vulgar tics. They have certain tics and repetitive motions and stuff like that, but it not everybody with Tourette's is running around cursing people out and having those super bad outbursts. Yes, that happens, but it's not the majority of people that are mentally ill. And that's the problem. The problem is mental illness has been stigmatized and has been a sin, a hush hush for so long that people then don't know where the lines are and what is expected and what is not, and to what extent a person is actually mentally ill or is just trying to coast on what they think the mentally ill person would do. And I've known a lot of mentally ill people that are extremely intelligent and extremely high functioning. That's why when there's a crime and they're trying to decide if somebody is competent to stand trial, intelligence and mental illness don't necessarily absolve the criminal. That's why they have to bring specialists, because you can be a malignant narcissist, and that doesn't mean you're incompetent to stand trial. You know, it means you have a disorder, but not everybody that's narcissistic is gonna be aggressive, you know? They might move in a certain way throughout life because obviously these are disorders that do have symptoms and do have certain behaviors. But I think we need to be very clear minded and clear eyed as to what point is it the mental illness creating the disruption, or is this person choosing to act disruptively in the hopes that it'll be excused because they are mentally ill? And I think that's a very, very hard balance to hit, right? You know? Oh, I'm so glad that you understand, Alan. Thank you for interacting. Thank you, everybody, for the engagement today. That's amazing. It is greatly appreciated, you guys. And the other part to this today that makes it kind of sad, right? So when people weaponize mental illness, it creates the stigma again and it puts up walls. So, for example, in my case, right now, we, I tell people all the time, like, I get frustrated because my nephew is in the autism spectrum disorder, and we are having such a hard time with his health insurance paying for therapy. And these are vital therapies for him, for any autistic patient, in order for them to continue to thrive. And I would venture to say that we have so much hubris that we feel like we can judge what normalcy is. And I feel to one extent or the other, every human being is broken in one area of their existence or another. So, mental illness doesn't necessarily have to excuse abhorrent behavior. And when we start getting into that, it's a very dangerous deal, because people start losing empathy and people start mixing things and mixing priorities. Like, for example, we just started a GoFundMe campaign for my nephew so we can pay for music therapy. we right now we can only afford one therapy a week. We would like for him to have two. And even though we had tons of donations and the response was fairly good initially, we hit a plateau, and it was so sad because even here in the channel, it's almost 300 of us. And if all 300 would have given $5, we would have been able to cover his therapy for a whole year. And this is the way he navigates the world. This is the only therapy that we have noticed that has been effective for him. However, people see a GoFundMe for the Gestapo agent that unalived a mother of three, and within days, he had $1 million. And that to me is mind blowing and heartbreaking because here I am getting in this channel to advocate for people that are a little bit different, people whose brain functions a little bit different and has certain superpowers compared to the neurotypical individual. And I'm here caping hard for people that are neurodivergent, trying to advocate for universal health care because people still believe that this country cannot afford universal health care when we are already paying what we would need to pay. Because not only do we pay taxes, but we are paying health insurance that have ridiculous deductibles. So if those costs were just integrated into taxes, we all could have the health that we deserve. Healthcare is a human right. My nephew has the right to express himself and be seen and be heard and be have a significant role in his community. So again, and it's not only him, all of my patients deserve that. And it is very frustrating that somebody can actually make $1 million in donation for taking a life, and I can get my campaign to hit 3,000 trying to help a little boy, a 9-year old that loves music more than anything else. But that's what happens when mental illness is weaponized. People get empathy fatigue, people lose grace, people lose motivation, and sadly, then everybody starts excusing people like Kanye who are just trying to hide their abhorrent behavior under the guise of being mentally ill. And we're not going to allow that. That is not fair. Neurodivergent people are not inherently evil or mean or bullyish or none of that. A lot of us actually have a very big heart and very heightened sensitivities because we know what it feels to not quite fit and not quite understand sometimes and getting a little caught up in navigating this world. Alan, thank you so much for engaging. Um, Laura, thank you. Thank you to all my top subscribers. A Total Nobody, Sonia, Alvaro, all of you. Thank you so much for all of the engagement tonight. That was greatly appreciated. And if any of you feels compelled to help my nephew, like I said, the campaign is going to be in the description. For those of you that do want to leave a tip or have the habit of leaving a tip, my Cash App is going to be in the description as well. You guys know that's how I keep the information coming. When is going to be my next stream? I I'm horrible at that. Being neurodivergent and all, I go through these like spurts of days where I'm very productive and I put like a flurry of things, and then I take like a little bit of a break. But I am hoping to have my next live sometime in the middle of next week, if that's possible. I'm trying to organize myself and trying to stick to a schedule. And I'm also considering opening, but I need more engagement. I need you guys to jump more. I need you guys to give me topics that you want me to deep dive. I need more comments. I need more subs. So, again, I would say probably next Thursday, I'll try to come in again. So sound off in the comments. Let me know what you want to hear about, what you would like to discuss or share, or if you want to collab, that would be awesome. This one went long today, so I'm very sorry for that. But thank you. It was awesome. Having all this engagement makes all the difference. So as always, stay healthy, stay safe, keep lifting each other, keep practicing empathy. Don't listen to none of these morons that are saying that empathy is toxic. The only toxic thing is cult behavior. Bye, everybody. Love you guys. You too, Alan. Bye.